Why does the media lie to you? You're a target of a media propaganda campaign. You're not alone, but you're the target. And I want you to think of why. You can think, well, the media lives in a bubble. They don't know any gun owners. They don't know any responsible gun owners. The gun owners they know are the ones that they write news stories about, the bad guys. And that's true, but there are 100 million of us. They didn't try very hard to meet us. If they did, they'd know that story. Some people in the media are paid by Michael Bloomberg to have a biased point of view. Well, that's certainly true. I know that's true, but it's not the whole story. You are immensely powerful. You have voices in your community. And I think one of the reasons the media is so skewed is they want to shut you up. Let me explain. Before I explain, you should know who this crazy guy is standing in front of you talking. I produce a podcast called Self-Defense Gun Stories. It came out of talking to a firearms instructor that I was with, and we went, Grandma saved herself, that's awesome. Well, here's a Marine who'd done after-action reports his entire service career and went, awesome, but was Grandma good or was Grandma lucky? So I look at what we, John Q. Public, me, you, what happened in church, what happened at a convenience store, and I've looked at several hundred of those events. I try and do a little snack food of a podcast every week on it. I'm with Paul Lathrop, a co-host on the Polite Society podcast. I do the Slow Facts blog, and I've done 1,800 posts. So after 1,800 posts and 500 podcasts and a bunch of radio shows and a couple decades at this, I'm just starting to get, it feels comfortable to be here. I also stumbled into speaking by singing with a bunch of buddies so I could stand in front of a crowd and not whisper and panic. And through the Tea Party, just helping. You know, how do I help? Okay, you went to this local school board meeting, what did they say? Lots of ways to enter into this community. Those were my notes. You all have a mental picture of whether Florida has pretty good gun laws. Not great. It used to be called the gun-shy state, but pretty good. Let's look at that. I'd like you to, we're not going to put it to a vote just yet. Was it, you also, I think, are thinking that you can't speak like Carrie. She has a story to tell. Foster Coker was supposed to be here. Please don't. Foster had been a victim and had to defend himself. We'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait. All right.
Me too.
How do these things work?
Foster has a compelling story. And I submit, so do you. Let me tell you what it is. In Florida, about 13% of you have concealed carry permits. Thank you. A little above average, kind of the impression you have about Florida is accurate, but it is a long way from the states that have extraordinary rates of concealed carry. You're 1 in 7. Not California. Alabama, I'm from California, I know. Alabama's 1 in 3. 1 in 3. Oh, by the way, eligible adults, not 1 out of 3 of the eligible adults. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean about Florida? That means our laws that we thought were, well, kind of okay, disarmed 2.25 million people. Let me put that in perspective. Orlando, Jacksonville, Miami, Pensacola, Tallahassee. Now, that's 2.5 million people. And our laws disarm them. What happens when we take 2.5 million good guys and take away their tools of self-defense? We get more victims. I'll do the numbers for you. I'm a numbers guy. 8,400 victims a year that we disarmed. Those are the stats that we could change tomorrow. That's just if we're like Alabama. What about if we were like Arizona, concealed carry? Let me describe some of the people you know that are the victims. We're passing laws that disarm people under 21. I can have a mom, she's married, she has kids, she can drive Paul will talk about this, what is it, 40,000 pound commercial truck?
80.
She could be flying an airplane, piloting a commercial boat, and we tell her that she's not responsible enough to own a firearm to defend herself at home. That's not only stupid, that's evil. Yeah. And if somebody tells you otherwise, you have a story to tell. Do you want to practice it? Yeah. Do you want to rehearse it? Yeah. Don't trust my numbers, they're easy to get. Build them. You have a story to tell about the innocence. By the way, that 8,400, one every 30 minutes, 2 a day are going to be rape victims. I've looked up the FBI stats. This might not surprise anybody. This doesn't stop you from being the victim of sexual assault. It's really, really good at stopping you from becoming a rape victim if you are the victim of a sexual assault. Situational awareness can remove you from the target list, but if someone's determined, this is what stops it. When I go and look up the FBI statistics, there aren't enough victims that were armed who suffered a sexual assault and then became rape. Doesn't exist. It's not a category. That's a story to tell, particularly to some of Carrie's victims. Men too. We have this perspective that the victims of battery are women. Lots of them are men. What's the comment? Nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. You're already involved in your community. I would hope. It may be that you go to school boards. It may be part of your church. It may be a civic or business organization. If you walk in and you've never taken part and you want to come in and tell them how to run their affairs, that's a tough sell. Because I got involved with the people who train school staff to be armed first responders. Florida's behind on this. I've done it in Ohio and Colorado. The guys who put those programs on joke that they have a flawed product. They create this superhero and then they wrap him in an invisibility cloak because nobody wants to walk into school and put a target on their back. Their strength is that they have uniformed officers, God bless. I've worked with some of them. They say, too often police get there too late. We can't be there. You're in the school when it happens. You're the answer to my prayer. Because I've talked to police officers who've walked into a school after an attempted mass shooting, and it's breaking their heart. If you want to have faith in your fellow man, go interview some of these teachers. They are beautifully determined and beautifully reticent to use violence. They're us, and they inspire me. I've written about 30 articles about them. There are lots of heroic, beautiful stories to tell because you save lives. And we're saying that the college kid who's after school trying to work in a convenience store shouldn't have the right to defend themselves. The young mom shouldn't. The 2.25 million Floridians that we've made the process, it's expensive in terms of time, it's demanding in terms of time and money. We created those victims. They have a story. You can be passionate about telling it. And talking to the groups where you're already known, where you're already trusted, they already believe you because they know you. That's how you're going to save us. That's how you're going to change an election. You want to know how you change an election? Do anything. Do anything. Literally, any given night, if you just, this is not using your imagination. You know your local groups like the NRA or GOA go, oh, there's a candidate that we like and he needs people to call. You can probably log in online, find a list of people to call and ask them to go vote. And primaries are going to be coming up really quick, right? We're depending on you to save us. I live in Louisiana. It's just like Florida. It's not that different. We have our faults. I'm not saying I'm up on a mountain pointing down fingers. I'm telling you what I'm trying to do in my own community. And we're depending on you to be active and save Florida. Thank you.